Most people know Corey Harrison as Big Hoss from Pawn Stars, but his life at the gold and silver pawn shop took some strange turns. There are a lot of dramatic turns in Corey's path to losing ownership, from tough family arguments to personal problems and a major car accident. Did you know that his divorce and his grandfather's will were important? Before we talk about what we now know about why Corey lost his stake, though, we need to look at the early events that shaped his career. Richard Corey Harrison was born on April 27, 1983. He was born to Kim and Rick Harrison and is the grandson of Richard Benjamin Harrison. They own the Las Vegas gold and silver pawn shop together. The two Harrison brothers that Corey has are Adam and Jake. Corey was exposed to the world of pawn shops from a very young age. This was passed down through his family and would shape his work and future. When Corey was only 9 years old, he started working at the gold and silver pawn shop. As a child, he was involved in the shop's busy life, learning from his father and grandfather how things worked and what they knew. His early start built a good base for his future role in the company. As Corey got bigger, he was given more tasks to do at the shop. He finally rose to become the day-to-day operations manager and was known as Big Hoss, being in charge of 30 workers. This wasn't easy, and Corey quickly showed that he was an important part of the shop's success. He was the one person in the shop who bought the most things. He had a great sense of what was important and what was a good deal. Corey's way wasn't always easy. The shop was in the famous TV show Pawn Stars, and Corey often had arguments with his father and grandfather. Most of the time, these disagreements were about how well he knew the shop's stock, his duties as manager, and his sales judgment. One theme that kept coming up was Corey's habit of buying expensive things, which put him at odds with Rick and the old man. Corey was more than just a character in Pawn Stars. His father Rick and his friend Chumley all played themselves in the November 3, 2012 episode of the American TV show iCarly called I Lost My Head in Vegas. This crossover showed how famous Pawn Stars and its characters are, bringing Corey and the shop into the entertainment world as a whole. Personal life for Corey Harrison has had its ups and downs, especially with his marriage to Karina Harrison and their breakup. Karina, who goes by the name Kiki, became famous when she married Corey, the star of the hit TV show Pawn Stars. Their relationship was short, but many people are still interested in her life. The California girl Karina was born and raised in San Diego. Her name, which comes from Greek and means maiden, shows that she is Greek. Even though she was in the news for a short time, she has kept a lot of her life private. There is still no clear story about how Corey and Karina met. Corey is very private about his personal life, so he never talked much about their friendship on the show. After dating in secret, they got married on May 26, 2017, in a small wedding in Karina's hometown of San Diego that was only attended by close family. But they were only married for a short time. After a year of marriage, the couple was having a hard time with their busy work plans and other obligations at work. In an interview, Corey said that even though they were no longer together, they still loved and respected each other. He also said that Corey filed for divorce in August 2018, and the process was over quickly by September 10, 2018. Even though they were no longer married, the couple went through a big event in their lives together. In October 2018, they had a son and named him Richard Benjamin Harrison, after Corey's grandpa, who they loved. Corey had mixed feelings about becoming a dad. He said, "I'm happy and I'm nervous as hell." Karina also told him about her hopes for their son. She wanted him to have Corey's eyes. Karina Harrison, on the other hand, was already well known in Las Vegas as an executive assistant before she married Corey. In the United States, this job pays between $60,000 and $90,000 a year on average. Karina has kept her personal life private since they broke up, but it's likely that she's still working to move up in her administrative career, using her skills and experience to look for new chances. Corey has been divorced before, which is interesting. His high school love, Charlene, was his first wife. They got married in 2009 and later got a divorce in 2015. Even though Corey Harrison had personal problems, the most important event in his life and work was a car accident on September 13, 2023. In Las Vegas, this happened when Corey's Ford F-250 was seen going off the road and into a bike lane. This led to him being arrested for driving while impaired DUI. That night, around 2 a.m., was pulled over. The cop who made the arrest noticed that the man's eyes were red and that the truck smelled strongly of alcohol. Corey said he had only one drink on the flight from Minnesota, where he was shooting Pawn Stars Do America, but the way he was acting made it look like he had more. Corey did not do well on the field sobriety test, which he later said was due to a number of things, such as an infected right shin and the rough ground where he was tested. Even with these claims, there was a lot of proof against him. Since the test didn't work, a blood sample was taken instead. Because of this test, he was arrested and booked for DUI. Getting behind the wheel while drunk is a dangerous crime that could kill you. Alcohol makes it harder to make decisions, move, and respond quickly, which can make you do dangerous things while driving. In Corey's case, this mistake put not only his life at risk, but also the safety of other people. The legal implications came right away and were harsh. He could have faced heavy fines, jail time, or even losing his driver's license. Because Corey was a public person, what he did had more of an impact. He was arrested, which sent a bad message to fans and the public. He was known for his part on Pawn Stars. Because of this, he got a lot of bad feedback from the public and was fired from his part on the show. The public reaction was strong, with many people being angry about how dangerous he was and what he did. Following the accident, Corey made a public statement in which he apologized for his actions and promised to deal with his drinking problem. He said he would get help and back efforts to stop people from driving drunk. This move was very important for his healing and for his public image. It showed he was ready to own up to his mistake and make things right, which was very important for fixing his image. Corey's account for what happened included saying that his car was broken down and that his infection made it hard for him to keep his balance. Even though the cops found alcohol on him, he insisted that he had not drunk anything after landing in Las Vegas. Right after his car crash and the legal problems that came with it, Corey Harrison had another health problem. When Corey, who is lovingly known as Big Hoss, found out he was pre-diabetic, his health took a big turn for the worse. After getting this news, he realized he needed to make big changes to his life to keep his health from getting worse. Corey had surgery for a lap band in 2014, a method that helped him lose almost 200 pounds. He lost a lot of weight and is now a much better weight. This surgery was a turning point for Corey because it not only changed the way he looked but also made him healthier overall. It was after understanding how sick he had been at his old weight that he decided to eat better and work out regularly. The surgery to lose weight and the changes he made to his lifestyle afterward were very important in controlling his pre-diabetic condition and stopping it from getting worse. Corey's journey wasn't just about his health though. He was deeply affected by how recent events made him feel. Corey was very sad when his younger brother Adam Harrison died on January 20, 2024, at the age of 39. Adam didn't appear on Pawn Stars, but his death was still a big deal for his family and friends. He shared a touching ode to his brother on Instagram, along with a picture from their childhood that showed how close they were. With all of these personal losses and the stress from his car accident and court problems, Corey's mental and emotional health had to take a hit. When you lose a brother, it's terrible. The fact that Corey was clearly upset showed how much Adam's death affected him. Even with these problems, Corey has shown that he can handle them. There have been rumors that he had a brain attack, but these are just rumors and have no basis in reality. Corey's health seems to be good right now. A strict diet and routine exercise help him keep his weight steady, which also keeps his health in good shape. Corey Harrison's grandfather, Richard Old Man Harrison, died, which had a big impact on both his personal and business life. Pawn Stars on the History Channel was based on Richard Harrison. Harrison died on June 25, 2018, after a long fight with Parkinson's disease. He was 77 years old. Corey lost more than just a family member. He also lost a teacher and a best friend. People loved Richard Harrison, who was kindly known as the Old Man on Pawn Stars and was known for being rude and funny. Between him and his son Rick Harrison, he owned the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop in Las Vegas. The show took place in this shop. Richard's appearance on the show and in the shop was a big part of its success. His straightforwardness and huge amount of knowledge drew people in. Corey worked with his grandpa for 15 years and often turned to him for advice and help. They were close for more than just business reasons. Richard helped shape Corey's job and work ethic. Richard had a big impact on Corey's life. He taught him the value of family, hard work, and commitment. Richard's death left a hole in Corey's life, both mentally and in the way the pawn shop ran every day. There was a lot of sadness in the Harrison family and at the pawn shop after Richard's death. When Richard died, it was the end of an era for the shop and the show. His leadership and knowledge could not be replaced, and his absence caused big problems. He and his father Rick had to deal with these problems while also grieving the death of a family leader. Corey's sadness was made worse by the fact that he had to keep the pawn shop running smoothly without his grandfather's constant presence. The old man was very important to the shop, and when he died, Corey and Rick had to step up and take his place. Corey already had emotional problems and health problems to deal with, so this responsibility made him feel even worse. Pawn Stars fans also shared their sadness over Richard's death and sent their thoughts to the Harrison family. The fact that Richard died made people remember how much they loved and respected him. Many people were happy about his life and memory, But for Corey, it was a personal loss that made him feel very bad. Corey Harrison's net worth shows how successful he has been as a business and on Pawn Stars. His wealth comes mostly from owning the famous gold and silver pawn shop and his long career on TV. It is estimated to be around $4 million, but there are a number of things that help him make money. To begin, Corey makes a lot of money from his share ownership of the pawn shop. The shop is a famous place for tourists to visit in Las Vegas. It makes a lot of money by selling pawned items and charging interest on loans. Corey's net worth goes up a lot because he gets a share of these gains. The shop's success, which is helped by its focus on Pawn Stars, guarantees a steady flow of customers and high sales. A big part is also played by Corey's work on TV. As a major cast member on Pawn Stars, he makes a good amount of money. The popularity of the show gave him many chances to be on other TV shows, such as American Restoration, Counting Cars, and I Bought a Funeral Home. These events not only bring in more money, but they also make him more well-known and gain him more fans, which makes him easier to sell. In addition to making money from TV, Corey has started writing. In his book License to Pawn Deals, Steals and My Life at the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, he writes about his work as a pawnbroker. The sales of the book bring him money and make him known as an expert in a subject, opening up more chances for speaking events and consulting jobs. Another profitable part of Corey's business is getting endorsements. He has backed a lot of different goods and services, such as Pawn Stars named Gear and a line of guns. These agreements not only give him money, but they also help him stay well-known and trustworthy. Aside from that, Corey has also put smart money into real estate and other companies. Rent, dividends and cash gains from these investments bring in money. Diversifying his investments lowers his risk and gives him the chance to make more money over time, which increases his total wealth. Real estate investments can also help him save money on taxes, which lowers his tax bill and raises his net worth. Along with funding, Corey has also started a number of businesses. He makes money from online and in-store sales of his clothing line, which includes Pawn Stars branded items and other clothes. Besides that, he co-owns the Las Vegas restaurant and bar Chumley's Pawn Stars. Fans and tourists alike come to this restaurant with a theme based on the show, which makes a lot of money from selling food, drinks, and souvenirs. Corey's influence on social media is helpful. He uses Instagram and Twitter to connect with people and promote his businesses. He has more than 5 million followers on Instagram and more than 1 million followers on Twitter. His posts can help his clothing line and restaurant make more sales, as well as market Pawn Stars, which is another way he makes money. He is also more visible on social media, which makes him a better candidate for support and collaborations. For Corey, the success of Pawn Stars is a big reason for his wealth. The show has stayed very popular over the years, drawing in millions of people and making the History Channel a lot of money. Corey's part on the show has made him famous, which has helped him make a steady income and build his other businesses. Corey Harrison's career at the famous gold and silver pawn shop hit a turning point in season 7 of Pawn Stars. Corey was annoyed that he didn't own the family business, even though he had made a lot of important contributions. He thought it was time to show what he was worth. He gave his father, Rick Harrison, and grandpa, Richard Harrison, a choice. He would leave the shop to look for other work if he didn't get a 10% share in it. This risky move showed how determined Corey was and how much he believed in his work to the company. Since he was a kid, he had worked at the pawn shop and was now in charge of the day-to-day activities and 30 employees. His deep understanding and ability to make big purchases were very important to the shop's success. Even though Corey had done a lot for the business, he felt that his lack of ownership did not show how dedicated and hard he had worked. People were worried about Corey's claim, and they wanted to know if he would really quit the family business. In the end, Rick and Richard came up with a middle ground. Instead of giving Corey the 10% stake he wanted, they gave him a 5% partnership with the chance to get a bigger share in the future. This offer came with a raise because Corey is so important to the shop's business. Corey agreed to take the 5% share. This was a big step toward making sure his future in the family business. Even though he didn't get everything he wanted at first, this choice showed how much he cared about the shop and the family legacy. By agreeing to this partnership, made sure he would stay involved in the business and set the stage for future growth and development. Even though Rick Harrison was still the main owner, Corey's growing role in management and operations made him a very important person for the shop's future. He has become more important over the years, and one day he might even be able to run the shop himself.